As early as I can remember, my life was spent following instructions. I was absolutely terrified of being shouted at or reprimanded, so I did everything my teachers asked me to do. I could probably count on one hand the amount of times I remember a teacher getting upset with me. I would follow rules like they were the literal law. If my dad told me that I had to be home by 7 p.m, I'd always be right outside that door at 6:55. And this carried on into my later years. I followed instructions, got good grades, I got into the best sixth form college, which is the school you go to before university, in the entire region. I went to university because everyone told me to. It felt like the system had me hooked. I was shaping up to be the perfect 9-to-5 worker. And the future looked bright. I looked like I was going to be able to trade my life away for a slightly higher wage than average, which made my family very proud. But since the day I got into university, things quickly started going downhill. Because when I started, I quickly realized just how free I was. Because I could eat whatever I wanted. No one would shout at me for not going to the classes. If I wanted to, I could wake up at 2 p.m, play games all day, go to sleep at 4 a.m, and no one would tell me not to do it. And even though this was one of the darker times in my life where I really let my physical and mental state go, I got used to this freedom, and I really enjoyed being able to do whatever I wanted. And when I started my year-long 9-to-5 job internship during my third year of university, that freedom very quickly got ripped away from me. I immediately had to switch from this mode of doing whatever I want to doing whatever my boss told me and following instructions. And I complied, like I always used to. But this time, every time I had to walk to the station in the rain before the sun rose up, every time I got home at 8 p.m, every time I saw a sunny day outside in the office and I had to miss it because I was at work, and every time I had to stay late against my wishes because my boss told me to, my resentment grew stronger and stronger. And it eventually grew so strong that I realized just how empty my life would be if something didn't change. And on an indiscriminate day, close to the end of that year when the train was particularly late and the rain was particularly bad, I finally snapped. I realized that I valued this freedom I had so much that I was willing to go against everything. I decided then and there that even though I had no idea how, I was going to live my life in complete freedom. But not only that, I was going to do something special. I wasn't going to be just another statistic, an average worker in an office. I didn't want to be insignificant, forgotten, and replaceable anymore. And in my room that night, even though nothing really changed in the physical world, a new person was born. In the 3 years since that day, I've escaped my 9-to-5. I've built a 100,000 subscriber YouTube channel. I've made 6 figures online. I went from fat to jacked. I moved to Thailand for 4 months, and now I've started this channel. My name is Brian, and my goal is to help you quit the 9-to-5 and get your fucking freedom back. You know this already, a 9-to-5 is pointless. If you live here in London, you make about $5,000 a month, but the rent here is like $2,500–$3,000. So the fact you work here necessitates that wage because the rent is so high. If you lived somewhere like Vietnam, you'd be just fine on about $1,000 a month, and your living conditions would probably be better. If you earned just $1,000 a month online, you could live somewhere on a beach in Asia, probably with better living conditions. You'd be working 2 hours a day instead of 9 hours a day, and not only that, the income potential is unlimited. And that's all nice, but there's also something deeper there, isn't there? If you want to escape your 9-to-5, you have this quality. It's not just quitting the 9-to-5 that you want. You have that thing where you don't just want to be a number, a worker. You have a deeper desire to do something special with your life, whether it's express yourself creatively, make a difference in the world, be able to spend more time with your family, travel. It could be anything. Your goal is not only to quit the 9-to-5, but to find that. Find your deepest purpose and live your fullest life. Now, a lot of people say to find that thing, you have to think of what you'd do for fun. If you weren't earning any money, like if money wasn't an object, what would you do in your day-to-day life? And that's a good question to ask yourself, but I did that and I landed on game development, and that's how I made all of my money. That's what the 100,000 subscriber channel is from, but there was still something missing there, and that's why I started this channel. There's also a deeper layer beyond just fun. Ask yourself, What would I need to die complete, to be completely satisfied with my life? What would you do if you were completely fearless, if you had no doubts about anything and whatever you did had 100% chance of working out? What would you do if you ignored all of your previous experience? You might have spent years learning certain skills that you realize were imposed on you by other people, and that's not actually what you want. Visualize yourself 20 to 30 years from now. It's nice to have this freedom, but what would you need to do to satisfy that deeper need within yourself so that you can die completely satisfied and fulfilled? Choose that goal and pursue it relentlessly. Don't fall for things that seem easier. The grass is always greener anyway. Everything has its challenges, so you might as well pick the thing that would satisfy you the most. Kill your common sense. Do literally anything you want. Common sense is common for a reason, just like 9-to-5 jobs are. And yeah, it's going to be scary, uncertain, but who cares? People are going to probably judge you, but who cares? If the price of your eventual ultimate freedom and fulfillment is that you have to tell your mum or your grandma that you're not earning as much money at the moment, then it's worth it. If something doesn't go quite your way and you have to work odd part-time jobs to get your business off the ground, it's worth it. If the price of your freedom is to fall through and give up what the world conditioned us to value and just break free of all of that and just kill your ego, even if it's temporary, then it's fucking worth it. After this video, sit down in silence, go to nature, get rid of all of the distractions, and then think of this goal. Spend a few days thinking of it if you need to, and then slowly start planning your escape. The road can be really lonely. I didn't have anyone to talk to about this when I was first getting started, but you're not alone. If you resonate with this message, you are like us. Everyone on this channel is working, making this life for themselves, getting closer and closer towards their freedom every day. So if you relate to that, consider clicking the subscribe button. If you're interested in some one-to-one YouTube mentorship with me, I do that, so the link is in the description. Never fucking settle, man. You literally have one life and you need to make the most of it. See you next video.